fuck you, Tony. Got a group of failures and they're all my friends. Got a group of drinks and the bottles never end. And the night's gotta rock, gotta roll, and I got to fuck. In the heart of no morals, babe, well, you're gonna get stuck.
Damn. All right. So what's up, Terry? Terry brought some drink.
What's up, man?
What's it called?
Glenfiddich.
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 That's what's up.
It's a just a regular 12-year single malt Scotch.
Nice.
It is good. It's a little bit sweeter than a lot. It's one of my favorites, though. And it's affordable. It's about $30 a bottle, roughly, depending on where you live. In California, it's about $30 a bottle. In North Carolina, it's like $7.
Big fucking difference, huh?
I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's tasty. Nice little sip. Nice little sipping whiskey.
Yeah, it's good. You brought tumblers. A little professional over here. See, now, Terry's the professional with the liquor. I'm the professional with the weed. I'll bring over all the tools and mechanics and shit. Yeah. Build a boat.
By no means a professional. I just enjoy drinking a little bit. There's some guys out there that are just like next level whiskey drinkers.
They got the ice cube trays for the balls.
Yes,
the
special. These are just Crown Royal cups. They came in like a Christmas
I've been drinking that.
It's not so. He's been drinking his scotch out of a Coca-Cola mug.
Yeah, a Coca-Cola mug that I got from a customer that was cleaning out his garage.
That is just fine.
America, bitch. So, man, something that's been bugging me a lot today was some of the executive orders Trump has made.
Yeah.
It's scary because it can give you an insight for what the future may be, what it can lead to, man. Because, like, I think getting out of the TPP is a good idea.
Great idea.
I think it's a good idea.
For American workers, anyway.
Yeah, because that keeps all of our capital in.
It might stymie our dollar for a little bit because China, if they want, they've also been talking about making their own currency, which would fuck our dollar up pretty bad.
The Asian,
right.
Well, there's the conspiracy theorists have been talking about this forever.
Right.
The Amero. People were talking about, and we were getting close to Amero because if you're gonna go globalist, each continent needs to have its own fucking exchange, and there's only gonna be one bank.
Mexico makes a lot of money from tourism, dude.
Yeah, but
that's better. And imports to or exports from them to us from produce and clothing. That's a fact.
This is it's so weird, man, because you got the SJWs, right? Mm-hmm. It's embarrassing, man. Their behavior. Like, you would imagine Republicans acting in that fashion,
but they don't.
They don't. It's deep psychological shit, man.
Well, that's one of the things that, I wrote a list, and I was really excited to come today because I haven't talked to you in about a week on the podcast. And,
yeah.
I just write down some things. There's a ton of stuff that happened this week that we could talk about, but, the big things that I want to try to cover, the Women's March for sure.
Yeah.
Trump's executive orders. And then our personal lives. What's up. And then the Super Bowl. Of course. You got to talk about the fucking Super Bowl. A little bit.
Yeah.
But first, you were on the Trump executive orders. The TPP, I think it's great. It's going to be great for...
I noticed people have been using that a lot now that Trump's president.
What's that?
It's great. It's going to be great. A lot of people have been using that.
No, he uses
fucking Alex
huge.
Jones.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah, Alex Jones is
It's bigly huge.
Bigly.
Bigly. I got the best words.
My friend.
He's a fucking clown. I will admit. But I'm going to be honest with you. You can hate me if you want. I absolutely voted for the guy because there is no fucking way I was letting Hillary in. If you would have brought Bernie in and sat him there, and I mean, I'm all against socialist I don't know if I would have voted for him either. But he would have beat Trump.
He would have won.
He would have beat Trump. But
he also wanted out of the TPP though.
Yes.
So he's not a globalist socialist.
Like we said last week, Trump's views are pretty damn liberal.
Yeah, aside from who's appointing to his cabinet, that's terrifying. And I get it. Like if he's a CEO,
You mean as far as
the EPA,
his immediate cabinet, not the defense cabinet, because our defense cabinet looks fucking
of course,
balls deep.
Of course.
I'm all about that.
Oh, and another thing that scared me is that he cut all federal funding aside from hiring new military.
Yes.
That's scary.
He seized
that can be
hiring
good.
for federal hiring.
Can be good, but it is
military.
also scary. It's also very scary. What did he say to Detroit recently? He said, if you guys don't cut it out, I'm sending in the feds.
No, he didn't say it to Detroit. He sent it to Chicago.
Chicago.
Because
See, I'm from here, so I don't know.
Chicago's homicide rate is fucking retarded.
It's already at like 40.
San Bernardino is the worst in the nation, and Chicago doesn't even count because they're like a fucking country. There was like some 250 shootings and 50 or 70 homicides.
It was 40 homicides.
Well,
250
San Bernardino's
shootings.
at 51 homicides.
Yeah. How come we don't get no attention?
We do.
Do we?
We do.
I just don't watch the news then.
We don't watch the news.
Yeah.
It's so hard to watch the news, though. I mean, I'm starting to get off topic, but the news is just so partisan. It's just so biased.
Yeah.
And I honestly, within this last 2 years, have learned a lot. And I really do try to listen to both sides of people's arguments, because I thought to myself, if I'm just looking at Fox News, or because I'd say I'm a libertarian that leans more right than most libertarians. Okay, that's probably fair to say, but I agree with a lot of liberal things, and there's no like libertarian news. It's just there's Fox News, and then everything else is liberal as hell.
I wonder if you would. Man, that's Joe Rogan would be close to libertarian news.
He's pretty close. But
if he became a news source.
He said he voted for Gary Johnson, but Gary Johnson didn't even know what like half of our he was just doing it. I
think he knew enough to run the nation,
no way,
but not to run our foreign affairs. He didn't know who Aleppo. I don't even know what Aleppo is. I didn't know what Aleppo was. I thought it was a convention. I thought it was a thing. I didn't know it was the fucking capital of Syria. Why should I care about Syria? I don't give a fuck about Syria. What I care about is American issues.
What is Syria? Well, Syria is American issues.
Only because a globalist government.
Oh, ISIS.
Because of globalist government.
We have to worry about that. We're Big Brother U.S., brother. So
I know.
Have to be on that.
I know, and I'm seeing the repercussions of being the big brother.
We will always be that, though. Because we took that stance back when World War I.
There needs to be
is when we said, hey, you can't hurt our homies.
I think there needs to be a reset to just wash out all old ideas and just have like a year of fucking council of smart people coming in with
like
ideas.
Joe Rogan said.
Yeah, and win-win, man. Look, after the book that I read was The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I wrote down the 7 habits and I put it up there so I can always see it. And the number one, when you're doing you lead others, the number one thing is always lead with a win-win intention. There's different scenarios: win-win, win-lose, lose-win, lose-lose, or just win. Right? It's win or bust. It's either you win or everyone loses. The best policy is always win-win, because you get the left and then you get the right. You meet in the middle and you get the best of both worlds. Our system is designed to work like that, but yet it doesn't, because a human, because of our consciousness problem in our society nowadays. Like a number one policy of every nation on this planet should be to protect our planet. Another thing that pissed me off.
Yeah, I'm all about
Trump
that.
signed an executive order to start drilling on our public land. That's terrible. That's fucking horrible. That's terrible. There goes deer. There goes hunting season. Dude, if any of that drinking water in our national forests gets contaminated, what is our wildlife going to eat? I mean, come on.
I'll rebuke you with I just wrote that down as a matter of fact. But let's go in order with what we were talking about, Trump's executive orders. We don't have to go in order, but okay, we're getting off of TPP and we're getting now into Dakota Access Pipeline, which
no, not that one. It's
It's the same one though. It's
Is
Coast
that-
Access Pipeline and then the.
I'm not that upset about the
other
anymore.
pipelines.
I've seen an update on their plan, and it's reasonable. They're
But
going under the river.
I want to talk
I
about.
guess that's not good either, but
I want to talk about where do all the people that are standing up to DAP think they get their gas from? Where do they think they get their automobile gas and their natural gas from? Are they under some weird impression that pipelines don't exist all over the world?
yeah, they are.
Is that what it is?
It's new in America.
Absolutely
in
not.
my generation.
There's over 200
Yeah.
I don't even know what the number is. It's ridiculous
All
how
right.
many pipelines already exist underneath the Mississippi and the Missouri, especially because they're
Yeah.
the two biggest rivers.
Yeah.
There's fucking not thousands, but probably hundreds of pipelines
Yeah.
carrying natural gas, and then I get in debates with people just because I'm an asshole, but mostly because I don't try to change anybody's mind, but I try to show them a side that maybe there's another side. And I was trying to tell them that, have you ever looked at it from somebody else's views? Think about like you guys were, while they were saying, oh, these are our burial grounds. You know what? For one, I think it was some chief that sold his land for fucking pennies and then reneged because he's like, holy shit, I didn't know they were going to do that. I could probably get millions instead of thousands. He probably got a check for like $100,000 and was like, I made out. Didn't tell the rest of his little fucking tribesmen.
It's true.
And then something else came in because that's the type of corruption that happens all the fucking time. You
Yep.
can't tell me it doesn't happen because it happens at
Consciousness.
San Manuel, it happens at Pachanga, it happens at Saboba, it happens all over the place. And I think that whole thing is some dude reneged and then he was like, oh, I'm gonna make it a civil rights thing.
It could be. I think
I don't know if that's a fact, but it wouldn't. But and the first thing they come to is like they're gonna poison the drinking water. Name one fucking of our pipelines right now that is causing.
Missouri, Arkansas.
Is
There's
causing-
documentaries on that.
There's-
have
there's-
you ever been
there's
able to?
pipelines
We have never been
with
able to
leak-
light our
with-
tap on fire.
there's-
That's the thing is we haven't experienced that.
Right.
Our water has not become flammable.
That's true.
If our water were to be flammable, it would be a completely different story.
So you're saying because it's not in our backyard, we don't give a fuck?
Mm-hmm.
That is definitely plausible. Definitely plausible.
It's
Nobody's plight matters until it's their plight.
exactly.
Like,
And maybe
this is gonna
that's-
sound extremely racist, but I have a lot of black friends I grew up with. I grew up in San Bernardino. I have a lot of black friends, and they always talk about discrimination against black people, and I believe that exists. I really do.
Discrimination
But at the same time,
all levels.
a lot of my friends that said that, they fucking hate gay people.
That's
They
really
fucking
weird.
hate gay people to the fullest. Have you noticed that?
Yeah,
Not just people from the hood.
It's really
hate
weird.
gay people.
I think
White, black, Mexican, they all hate gay people.
it's a consciousness thing, and it's a paradigm.
So
Our
there's-
nation
so
needs a
there's-
paradigm
it's
shift.
Nobody cares about plight until it's their plight,
Yeah, and
and that is a problem. That
the
is a
hard
problem.
the hardest thing that this nation needs to do is to paradigm. The whole country, the world needs to have a paradigm shift on what's the most important thing: capital gain now, or the planet lasting for another 100 more, thousands more generations. See, that's our problem. Is like, yeah, capital gain is dope, dude. That's dope. Getting the money and fucking bitches and having
what?
boats.
When I was
sick.
I said, you know what's weird is I said, and we're kind of getting on a tangent, but I said that when I was a kid, like 4 months ago, when we were dry as fuck, our state has been rough.
I've never seen it. It's so wet here. There's
But
water in the
I was
fucking
gonna say-
Santa Ana
I was
River.
gonna- I was saying, look at our mountains. They haven't been this way in 10 years. They're
White.
fucking snow-capped, and it's gorgeous.
That's exactly. I
And I'm
told
like,
Ruby that today.
you will never see these mountains like this again. You
The
better
last
take a
time,
picture.
the last time it was like this was when we had that giant mudslide
Yep.
right after the
And
fire.
Luckily there was no fires because those avalanches would cause pain in our backyard.
Yeah, we'd be fucked,
but,
dude.
But with that being said, I was thinking, well, humans have to be affecting climate because it's so dry, and then all of a sudden, boom, we get in the worst rainstorms that we've seen in 10 years.
It's like this, man. It's a cycle. We learned this shit in first grade. How does rain work? It falls, it dehydrates, and it goes into the sky. What do people think? It just goes somewhere else?
Yeah.
No, eventually it's going to make its way back around because we're a spinning globe. The atmosphere is essentially standing still as the globe spins. Okay? So that cloud, like yesterday was a perfect example. Right after the rain, when the sun started to come up, there was clouds. Thick fucking clouds. Those are water bags. Those are giant fucking water bags in the sky.
Water
that get pushed around.
They just condense and then
Yes,
drop.
And it's going to come back eventually. It's not the end of the world. It's not. What could happen 100 years from now, this could become the next Amazon. Climate change is real. It
is real.
It's the way the earth fucking is earth, okay? But we do accelerate certain things.
Absolutely.
Like bleaching of the coral reef. That's our fucking fault. The acid levels in the oceans rising. That's our fault. Oil spills. That's our fault. Fucking fracking and contaminating drinking water. That's our fault.
That's another thing.
Everything that goes bad here is our fault.
Always bothered me. Like nobody.
There's a documentary. There's a lot of stuff. It's hard to come in the middle with everything,
hard.
Man. You can't.
It's no, like we said, it's not a plight until it's your plight.
And if we all thought about it, it is our plight. It is no matter what, because our children's children. That's
India
us.
use cow shit to cook their food. That was crazy to me, and I was like, "Why do they do that?" Because
they ain't got no
don't
trees.
Have fucking trees.
Think about it. The more people, that's what upset me about our national forest, our public land.
Was it
Every American
Leonardo DiCaprio's thing?
should be
I didn't
fucking
necessarily
upset.
agree with it, but I listen because I'm interested. I always try to get both sides of the story and then make an opinion. Which every American should, but they don't, because like I told you, if we are constantly going to where we stand in line to get our news, you're just agreeing with yourself.
You're staying in your comfort zone. You're staying in your bubble.
If you're just agreeing with yourself, that's not learning.
Yeah.
That's just agreeing with yourself.
Yeah, I had to learn that. I learned that the hard way, man.
I think we all do. Or we try. A lot of people don't.
A lot of people don't. Yeah, I'm lucky. I've been super influential on Ruby. She's actually downstairs before my son got home. She's listening to that book now. It hands out a lot of good life skills, which pertain to almost everything we're talking about right now. Is paradigm shift. Paradigms are basically the way each individual sees the world. Your paradigm and my paradigm have been different, and we've acknowledged that we do.
That's way different after you had that.
Yeah, it's darker.
Oh, it's fucking dude.
I was straight drinking, yeah. But it's important to take off the lens of the paradigm. So even if it's figuratively or whatever, I was even thinking about like doing that in the show, like putting on my paradigm glasses, like putting on sunglasses to be stupid or whatever, just to signify, to make it consciously aware to other people what a paradigm shift is and what it looks like, because it can be scary for people that like to stay inside their bubbles. Because a paradigm shift is shutting down what you believe and just listening. And asking what is called, I think they're called reflective questions. So instead of, say you're upset about something, and instead of probing, and just go, "You all right?" And then you go, "Well, I don't know." And then I'll go, "Well, you don't really want to talk about it." And then instinctively you're gonna go into it. It's a way to prevent the walls and the doors from closing on a conversation. Well, and that's super important, because like we've come to know, not everyone's like us. Mm-hmm. Like I can sit down and have a conversation with you, and you can tell me I'm wrong all the way. Now I'm not gonna get upset. Before I would get a little angry, because I'm like, God, like my ego's like, dude, you can't be wrong. You can't be wrong. We felt so right about it.
Well, that's what I think the biggest issue with the whole no sugar thing is. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But we have extreme egos that protect us, not protect us, that hinder us.
They're meant to protect, but they actually destroy.
Mm-hmm.
They can destroy relationships, family, love, friends. It's a real thing, and I'm noticing. I still see it, man. Now that my mind has woken up to me and my flaws, I still see the disregard, the not taking me serious and stuff, but I'm not mad about it. No, I'm not angry or bitter.
Extreme advancement in your psyche as far as growing as a man.
Yeah,
it's important to just, I've told you this forever, but not caring what people think is one of the most enlightened ways you can be. And I didn't mean just, hey, no fucks given.
Yeah,
I meant work on ourselves. I can tell you from just our last 3 weeks talking, you have grown like tremendously as far
Thank
as
you.
just
Appreciate
growing
that.
up. I don't mean that in a bad way.
No, it's not even offensive.
You were
because
very, very emotional, but that can be a good thing because that means you had a lot of passion.
Yeah.
But you have to learn how to channel that passion
And-
the right way.
and I clearly have.
Yes, I think you have.
Yeah.
You're on the right path because that passion can also destroy you.
Yeah, and it was on the verge. I was teetering for so long, man. Like that's why every financial endeavor that I try to take under, I try to do something positive for the youngsters in the city, is because I've seen it and I understand what the problem is. There's no mentors. There's nothing to look up to. There's nothing for them to say, hey, that's possible. This isn't a society where people are like, I can do anything. This is a society where
Stay in your lane.
I'm not going to graduate high school. Nobody in my family graduated high school. Nobody in my family went to college. Nobody became a lawyer. Nobody became a doctor. Nobody became an entrepreneur. Every man that I look up to is a drug dealer, a gangbanger, or a low-life piece of shit, or just a guy that gets a job and then that's it. Granted, there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like if you're young, you have untapped potential, and you have nothing holding you back. If you're given the tools to succeed, then there is no excuse. But the key is you have to give the results. I mean, not give the results. You have to give the tools. The tools have to be given. You can't expect people to pay for a class on a seminar on how to be great. I think that's something you should hand out. I think you should be like, these are the tools. This is what I did.
Well, that's what it's
it
like.
worked for me. And I want to give them
perfect example
the tools.
of that is like where I work currently. I don't need to say where that is.
Yeah.
But where I work currently, the guys that are at the top, they hoard their knowledge.
And fear of losing the
They
position.
put people around them that are not very good. So the ones at the top their
Always look
right-hand
good.
men are average folks because they always want to look good. They don't want to share their knowledge. They want to keep that knowledge because they don't want to be passed up. And that has a lot to
Terrible.
do with ego. But imagine how great you could be if you shared your knowledge.
See, that's
And that,
crucial,
like we talked
man.
before,
Knowledge
in
is
my
God.
opinion, knowledge is exactly.
Knowledge is God.
The knowledge that I have, not the knowledge that I currently have, but the knowledge that I have yet to obtain is my God.
And
Because
the
it is
pursuit
greater than I am.
The pursuit
Yes,
of that
pursuit
knowledge
that.
is
It's
godly.
the journey. It's that,
because
the journey is our religion, and the God is the knowledge I haven't obtained. And which wants to lead me to my next point, which changed a lot. What did you think about the? It's kind of coincides Trump's executive order to stop funding Planned Parenthood, and the Women's March is one of those. It's highly debatable that women believe that they should be able to do whatever they want with their body, and there's a lot of people that are saying, yeah, absolutely, and then there's half that are saying, but why should I have to pay? And the thing is, I've heard a lot of sides saying that what you're paying for is not like abortions when it comes down to it. It's actually the health of the woman and Planned Parenthoods and a lot of these things.
They do every 6-month checkups.
And I am completely, and a lot of my really religious friends that are against Planned Parenthood aren't opposed to that.
That
They're
idea.
opposed to one thing.
Abortion.
Absolutely. And you
Yeah.
know what's funny is I'm not religious, you know this, and my stance on abortion has changed completely.
Based on the knowledge you gain.
No,
No?
based on me having my daughters.
Yeah, it does change.
I have changed as far as being completely compassionate towards children, and especially children in the womb. When I can, I have a daughter that's 14 months now, and I have one on the way, and I can hear her heartbeat, and I know that she's moving and dreaming and thinking and feeling.
Yeah, because at that point, it's a fucking baby, man.
Who-
It's a human.
Well, she's 7 months now in womb, so there's no
It's
touching that.
a fucking human.
But the earliest children, fetuses, let's say fetus in the womb,
42 days.
have
42 days.
have
I'm telling you, man.
their brains start triggering at about as early as late 2 months.
Yeah, 42.
There's no bump or nothing.
42
It's
days.
about the size of an avocado.
You know
pit or
what it
something
is?
like that.
It's the brain experiences first dimethyltryptamine trip. And
They also
call that-
react to music and the way their mothers feel.
Yeah.
And
It's because,
when that
dude-
says that, regardless of a batch of cells, like some other people would want to say it is,
Yeah.
at some point it becomes a child that has no rights, and it has no defense. Nobody's speaking up for them, and that's the only thing I think is that's where my tribulation lies, is who is gonna, because nobody. I'm sorry, these are stupid sentences, but nobody defends the unborn child because it's a woman's choice.
Yeah.
It's a woman's body. And they say, how can you tell me what I want to do with my eggs? And that's true. Nobody's telling me what to do with my sperm. Nobody's telling you what to do with your eggs. But once they are together and they conceive a life form, a human, regardless of soul, at some point there has to be a no-go switch.
It's a completely selfish thing. And it's understandable.
Because
It can be a responsible thing as well. But there's a thing there.
So what do you think? The executive order was Trump is trying to defund Planned Parenthood, and he also defunded us from paying tax dollars to overseas abortion clinics, or not abortion clinics, but other Planned Parenthood type clinics in like
federal funded
Mexico
free.
City, other countries where we would send our tax dollars to help children. Like,
Well,
listen, if there's going to be health towards the mother, and if the child's going to come out like fucking terrible for his whole life,
it doesn't
I get
benefit
it.
humanity.
If it's rape, incest, and unhealth, I understand. And
yeah, but that's Planned Parenthood, and that incest is a different thing. But rape, that's like the next day.
Well, incest is rape.
Yeah, but I'm saying
In
they
my
could be
opinion.
far along
In my
pregnant.
opinion, right.
They could be far along pregnant, and no one would know. You know what I mean? That I take that out, the incest thing out, unless it. You know, these things are moral. Not.
It's hard to debate morality.
Yes, because morality is all about your paradigm and how you see the world, and everybody sees the world differently. Like Joe Rogan said, he said it perfectly. When you look at someone else, that's just someone else that's living a completely different life in a completely different body. And what happens to them in their lives and what they're taught and how they're taught will dictate how they are. And we can't expect fucking everybody to be on our level. And that's the hard part. That's the hard part. The real fucking trick is to get an entire nation on a level of win-win, where you take the talking, like the serious points from each side, and you're like, yeah, you both fucking make sense. It is the woman's right. But what about the baby? And why is it everyone else's job to pay for that? You should have been responsible.
Right.
Free condoms are given.
Right.
Contraceptive is given.
But I think the argument is that it's the woman's right. It's my body. I'm going to do what I want.
But then you have another argument. You have another argument. Population control. That is a topic that is never talked about. That is crucial.
I think I'm going to sound really ruthless here, but a lot of people are confusing what a right is compared to what a commodity is.
Yeah.
We cannot even get water as a right. So healthcare most certainly isn't a right yet. We can argue day and night about it should be a right, but currently it is a commodity. We pay someone for their services and they give us something back. So that is never going to be a right as long as there's no law for it. I mean, and we can argue that there should be a right to water should be number one in my book. Clean water, clean, healthy water for everybody, because it is life.
Yeah.
But
without it, everything dies.
But
that
Planned
is crazy.
Parenthood-
That is fucking crazy. That is a crazy fucking idea. The idea that someone can take a natural resource and say, "Hey, it's mine. You got to pay me for it now. This mine."
it wouldn't surprise me in 200 years if we're selling air.
China already does it. They sell air in a can. You can buy it out of a vending machine because their pollution's so bad. They get this thing and they just breathe oxygen, dude. And that's crazy because now they're leading the globalist agenda. They're gonna head the UN now instead of the US, which is another crazy thing because we've seen where their politics got their nation as a whole. Now, granted, their economy might be great, but you can't walk around without a fucking gas mask. Till when does capital gain seem redundant? You know what I mean? It seems redundant because at the end of the day, it's fictitious. It's made up. We made it up. It's not real. It's not gold.
We want
it's not
shit.
silver. We want shit. We want shit, right? But God, we're so selfish.
That's one
so
thing.
Selfish,
is, like,
man.
Trump is doing a lot. I mean, it's this. You can hate me if you want, but Trump is doing a lot of things that are great for the American people.
For the American
but it's going
people.
to raise the price of everything we want by a lot. And people are going to be like, wait a second, this is fucked up. Trump sucks because I want my shit cheap. I want
Yeah.
my iPhone to be $700 instead of $1,000.
Yeah.
But that's the way it's going to be because we get all of our parts sourced from China and Mexico and Brazil, or I don't know, whatever the country is.
But our nation will become
One
wealthier.
good thing he did say about that pipeline is it's going to be an American, and if we're going to build it, it's going to be American steel. That's one thing I haven't heard in a long time.
Smart.
That is a ton of jobs
For
and
Detroit.
Nobody heard
Detroit,
about that.
man.
Nobody.
Are they gonna bring the steel-
Pennsylvania is a big.
Are they going to bring the steel mills
area.
back over there?
Pittsburgh.
We used to have a
they were
steel
called-
thing, didn't we?
You know, the Pittsburgh Steelers are called Steelers for a
Because
reason.
yeah. Didn't we used to have a big steel thing?
Yes, Kaiser Steel. In
Kaiser
Fontana.
Steel. There you go.
That was closed in the 70s.
The
Outsourced.
you wanna the downfall of San Bernardino, Kaiser Steel, Norton, and there was one other thing.
Santa Fe.
There you go. That was reason.
railroad.
That's why San Bernardino was a ghetto, because you got rid of everyone's jobs.
And you brought in low income
and you brought in the. Now see,
because it's state subsidized. So
growing up, I didn't see. I always thought Democratic because I grew up in an environment that relied on Democrats. You know,
So did I.
and now that I have essentially did my goddamn damnedest to stay the fuck out of the government system. No food. I don't get food stamps. I don't get Medi-Cal. I don't get nothing from the government. Nothing. I get nothing. I'm doing fine.
yeah,
And all it required was me fucking sitting down,
working a little bit harder.
biting my tongue, because that was my big problem, is biting my tongue. I thought I knew everything, and then I always talked too goddamn much. And I accepted my responsibility as the only person on this planet that needs to take care of this family.
That's true.
The only person.
Like we
And-
said
and
last
think-
week, if we work together on ourselves, eventually the community is going to get better.
Yeah.
Has no choice.
It's pretty crazy, man. It's scary. It's scary, but there's a part of me that's like, 4 more years. If his changes are too drastic,
He didn't waste no damn time. I'll
no,
tell you that.
none. I feel like they weren't well thought out, but I don't know. I didn't look at the law.
What was the last
I
executive
didn't look
order
at
he did?
I didn't look at it. I don't know what the fuck
He
the
did,
executive order consists of.
TPP, the Dakota Access Pipeline, the abortion.
And the wall, he put the wall in through today. I don't even know if it's real, but I saw a thing online. I didn't fact check.
What do you
he-
think about the wall?
I don't really care. It doesn't matter. It's not going to change a goddamn thing. It's just going to create jobs.
Well, it's going to create jobs, and it's going to put. The idea is to put more enforcement at that area, not just a big. Like that's the misconception with a lot of people.
So he's talking about a
He's talking
metaphorical
about, we're
wall.
just having a big, huge. No, he's talking about a legitimate wall, but it's going to be stacked like Gitmo,
like a legit wall,
like a fucking
a good wall.
every.
It's going to be great.
It's
It's
going to
a
be
wall.
huge.
It just got 10 feet higher.
But that doesn't exist right now, and people can say it's not going to work, but what if it changes things? Like, and they say they can't get Mexico to pay for it, but I bet if he sanctioned imports from Mexico's like produce, and
Guaranteed them
they
import.
will pay the fuck out of it. Because we love their avocados, their citrus, all of your oranges. Like we in California have tons of oranges, tons of vegetables, everything else, but we send those straight to us and we eat them super quick. And then the cheaper ones that we bring in that you buy from the grocery store, it's always like Chile, Mexico, and
Cheap?
everything else. Cheap
Cheap? $1 an avocado is cheap.
compared to what it
You go to
could be.
Mentone, you get 4 for $1.
Yeah.
That's
they're
that
there.
Mentone grown
Because they're
avocado.
there.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah,
we
they're different
get-
kind of
we get
avocado.
a lot. I mean, if you sanctioned produce and clothing, they would probably negotiate. He's good at leveraging deals. Like you can say whatever you want about the guy, but he's going to be able to leverage a deal to where we're probably paying for half and they're paying for half.
Yeah.
That's what I see happening. And then it is going to create a ton of freaking jobs. And it's going to stimulate a little bit of economy in that area, especially in California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas.
How do you feel about Jerry Brown opposing pretty much everything to Trump, and they're talking about Cal exit? They're mimicking
They've been talking
Brexit.
about that for years. For one,
Like the last 3 years, yeah.
for
But
one,
Trump is a tipping
they'd have
point.
no goddamn military, and as soon as they wanted to pull out, the United States wouldn't protect them, and someone would come over and take it. Like,
Yeah.
like they say, oh, we'd keep our military. No, you wouldn't.
You can't-
would
well-
not.
well-
Everybody would leave.
Isn't National Guard state funded and not federal funded? Yeah, National Guard state funded.
Are you going to put the National Guard up against the fucking Marines and
Dude.
the Army?
Dude. Hey, whatever.
But what I'm saying is, like,
Well, I mean, they got fucking four.
they've been talking about Cal exit as long as they've talked about Texas exit. And that's not ever gonna fucking
It's
happen.
like the two states of our nation: super
California
Republican,
does make a
super
ton of
Democrat.
money,
It's
that's-
It's the sixth largest economy in the world.
Yes.
And if
But
it
that's
became its
because
own place,
a lot is
it would be the
Hollywood and
biggest.
LA.
Think about this. It's gonna go up in the economy
Imagine how
because
many
of cannabis.
Americans stopped watching football because of Colin Kaepernick. Imagine how many Americans would stop watching
Fucking idiots.
movies if, like,
People rely too much on trivial shit to base their fucking societal gauge on. I mean, like, football's great. MMA's great. All these things are great. It doesn't matter, though. It doesn't fucking matter.
Well,
there's nothing about that will sustain America. If it goes away, America's gonna be just
Well,
fucking
you're
fine.
thinking of it
You feel me?
as-
We need to be worrying about big picture. Like,
I
I'm
understand-
saying, the nation's paradigm needs to shift to view the world the way I view it.
Oh,
Make
that's
America
not-
great
that's
again.
not
Think
ego.
like I think.
That's not ego or anything. But from a standpoint to where I was a jock, an athlete,
Mm-hmm.
and football is not, to you, these sports look like a game. But you're smart enough to realize, from a kid that grew up in something like that, it's more than
Yeah.
just a game.
I mean,
Not
I got
because-
wrestling.
I'm not like football is life. That's not what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. I'm talking about the skills that I learned. I lost a lot when I was a kid. It taught me how to lose.
Yeah.
The discipline that it took, that I had to be where I had to be on time. I had to keep my grades where they were supposed to be, and I had enough gusto to not go out and do bullshit because I wanted to play, because I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's something to look forward to.
It taught life lessons to me as a child. Team building is fucking essential. Any job you get into, unless you're a private
You have
business
to be able
owner,
to.
you have to. And you know what? You can say all you want about private business owners, being a lot of Americans, but they have to hire employees, and those employees need team building. And sports are essential to the American way of life. 100%.
I believe it because we're essentially
Discipline.
we're a warrior nation.
Socialism, not socialism like that, just being social.
Yeah. Well, there is a socialism to being American. Then that's why one of my big pet peeves is giving so much power to a word without context. It's super important to experience a word with context and then judge how to react, right? Because context can change everything. It can take a 2-word statement and then give it context and be like, well, that's not that bad, you know? Forgot where I was going.
That's the thing I love. Well, I can bounce off that real easy. A lot of things in that, as far as context goes, our life revolves around technology, and with this technology, it's amazing. We can
Information,
figure out
man.
everything we need to know within seconds, and it's in our pocket. But we take it out of context a lot because it's texted, and you see no emotion behind it, and you see no body language behind it. I believe that body language is, like, when we're having a conversation, it really means a lot. If I was texting you real quick and I said "fuck you, man," you'd be like, "Wait a second, why did you say "fuck you, man"? But you did. But maybe you didn't mean I was like, "Hey, fuck you, man."
Yeah.
You know, that changes things. In a text message, you can't see that. In memes, you can't see that.
Yeah.
Well, memes are pretty good about it, but other things, context is taken out of line all the time. Like all these, there are some memes that within a camera shot away can change complete identities. Like Trump. Probably there was a picture of
Obama touching Melania's ass.
exactly. I would have
done it.
I saw another one that said, "This is how you should treat a lady," because Trump was in front of her and Obama.
Yeah, Trump was treating her like shit. Did you
behind
see
her.
the video of Trump turning around talking to her and him turning back and then her just fake smiling, and then as soon as he turns around, she just looks like, oh fuck.
But
Like,
you don't know
it was
what
gross.
he said, and you don't know what
Yes.
their dynamic of the relationship is.
Based on my own personal human experience and experiencing
if-
those things,
what if
she doesn't
Melania-
love him, bro. She just
Melania-
wants to be the first lady,
But
dog.
Melania, that's fine. But Melania has been a supermodel, right?
yeah,
And-
superficial.
And a trophy wife. Right?
Yes,
And I'm
yes.
not taking anything away from her intelligence.
I am.
What
'Cause I don't
if-
know her.
She's new at this. She's
Yeah.
new at this. What you can say it doesn't exist, but what if Michelle feels the same way about Barack, but she's been around politics so long she knows how to fucking throw it? Because you know who does?
Yeah.
Hillary. Like,
Yeah.
because there's this, because
Yeah.
you know that woman
Yeah.
doesn't like Bill.
Yeah,
And she's fucking
stuck with him. for political
next to him
reasons.
all the time.
She
You
gave him
know?
an ugly ass
So
look.
there's yeah, I saw that because he
yeah.
would like bit his lip or something.
Yeah, he was like,
He's like-
I saw the memes.
he's
It
like,
says,
oh.
"Damn, Ivanka,"
Ivanka.
and she was on her phone. It was like delete, 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 and it showed Bush going, "Cowboys." It's so stupid, you know. It's
Bush,
so funny.
You know what's funny is there's
so funny. Bush still don't
when
care.
you look back at Bush compared
wasn't that
to like
bad.
Trump, he's so much better.
He wasn't that bad at all. He tried to be funny. He tried to be funny.
He's so
He was good with protesters too. He wasn't terrible with protesters though.
he cared about people.
Yeah.
And he got so much slack for it.
It's important.
Because
I
of the
think.
war.
I think it's
It
important.
depends what's
People
going
need
on.
to loosen up. People need to loosen up, right? I think we need to do a complete overhaul of the education system. Get rid of this Common Core bullshit. Do an education based on learning.
I think his
Yes, we need to get rid of the Common Core. Have you ever tried to do a Common Core math equation of even subtraction?
I haven't
You will
seen it
feel like a complete idiot. They got these like I
feel like
I felt bad for my daughter because she almost started crying. She got so stressed out because she could not figure out her homework, and I could not help her learn how to divide based on the way they wanted them to learn.
Well, I figure it can't be that hard. I think that I'm just missing a step that I haven't learned, and if once I learn that, it would be fine.
Yeah,
But
that's the thing
but I think
is-
none of the parents know that, so they're like, "What the fuck is this?" Because
Yes.
we've been doing it so long for forever, just like a sugar diet.
It
We've been
should
doing that so
be.
long forever. We don't know what else to do.
As far as education should be based on a trial error basis. Period. Nothing is set in stone. So our nation knows the No Child Left Behind Act did not work. It did not work. Everybody knows now.
It raised
parents.
it raised a bunch of dummies with huge self-esteems.
Yes, parents now know Common Core is shit. I feel like it affects my daughter's self-esteem because she's excellent at math. But then there's times where she's supposed to break down this equation in a certain way, and then she's like, "Dad, I can't figure this out." And then she brings it to the dad, and dad just learned how to fucking, all right, 8 and this, 8 goes into that, and then the 74 minus this, your answer's 4. You know, that's how you find just like electricity. You find the fastest path to ground. The fastest path to ground. It's my gaps. They make a lot of S's. No whistles, just S's. But they're not teaching them. Her teacher explained to me the idea of Common Core, and it's to teach them how to problem solve,
Right.
to figure it out. But I'm a seasoned problem solver. I've led my whole life based on the one principle: there's no problem that cannot be solved, and I always try. Always try to find a different route, find a different perspective, a different paradigm that might solve a problem that I personally do not know how to solve. Find someone that does know how to solve it and have them explain it to me. And yet they want to prevent them from using any other kind of method to get to the end solution. They want them this is what you got to learn, and you have to learn this. I think that's wrong. The basic principle of you can't teach a fish to climb a tree. Some people are good at some things, some people aren't. Some people are book smart, some people are fucking geniuses with their hands. And like Germany, America should adopt, all right, if you don't get bad grades, you get kicked into the vocational school where you learn a trade. That way, even if you don't get a GED, you're guaranteed a job in our society
Socialism.
to benefit it. That's not socialism. How is that socialism?
The government is telling
That's
you
common
what you're
sense.
The government's telling you what you're going to do.
If it's not, it has to be an option. It has to be a choice, right? It's an option. Okay, your kid, all right, Terry, your kid's a dummy. Failing all the classes, but I see that she's really good at like building blocks. She's really good at building houses.
Make her an engineer.
Put her in school to learn how to build things. Something that she likes.
That
Because
sounds amazing, but we don't have that.
We do. ROP, Regional Occupational Program. But it's
not.
But it's just
That's
one
not
class.
national.
It's
That's
exactly
probably statewide.
It's probably just California, but the idea that my friend, is literally nobody left behind because there's no excuse why you don't have a job.
Yeah.
Not I can't.
I see what you're saying.
Some people can't take tests.
I see what you're saying.
I work with a dummy. Still, he's 19 years old. Failed his fucking driving exam twice, and last month was his first time trying to get his license. He graduated from Sierra. He came here to help me, have me help him. I'm not gonna say his name. Great guy, but he's not very smart. He's not confident in himself. When he takes a test, I can see the doubt overcoming him and just everything just going blank on that page. Like I was explaining to him, man, chill. It's easy. Look at the key words. You know, I had to explain to him how to problem solve. He doesn't know how to problem solve. He doesn't know how to trust his gut. He doesn't know how to store information. But if I need him to go do something, paint, fucking I can count on him to do it. And there should be a place for that. There's always going to be
generals and soldiers, okay? Mm-hmm. And that's what that is. Usually, like, my brother will never be a foreman of anything, but if you told him to fucking dig a trench, he'd get it done in fucking, no time.
And then I think it's important for people to recognize that
leaders
dynamic.
And followers, basically.
Everyone wants to be leaders.
That's a fact. Everybody thinks they're leaders. I live my life by a simple code. It's going to sound weird, but because of my circumstance, I've been to war. And I like to walk up to man or woman alike and be based on your character, not your health or how well you fire a gun. I say, can I bring you to war? Can I bring you to war, lead you, and you'd be okay? And that's how I determine if I could keep you around me as a person. I mean, that sounds wild.
No, that makes perfect sense.
Enough, but could I bring you to a super stressful situation
and count on you
out on top?
That's tough.
Yeah.
You don't find very many people where you can say
at work,
that.
I probably have about 5.
In
life, we have about 37
2
people in the same
I
field
say
as me.
2 people in my whole life. 2 people. You and Victor.
Yeah.
I can count on Victor. I can, forever. I can always count on him.
You still talking, Victor?
Yeah.
That's dope.
I invited him over he's the only motherfucker that came on my birthday.
You didn't invite me.
Oh, Ruby said she invited Shelby. Ruby did everything. I didn't do anything.
Shelby is like, when was your birthday?
November 10th.
We were in a hotel. That sucks.
Yeah.
But Shelby is super pregnant too, so that probably had a lot to do with it.
You don't have to get drunk to have fun, man. You just got to be around the right people.
I'm talking about being drunk. I'm talking about she's
moody.
She wants to go home and eat and sleep and do all her things,
Oh, how's Shelby on her diet? Did you that episode with Tob, whatever his name, Gary Tobbs?
I didn't.
Did you hear what he said about
yes,
it starts in the womb? And I've always believed that. He said
agree,
he thinks it starts in the womb.
He's still.
The theory makes sense.
We can agree with him, but we don't know if it's backed, right?
Exactly.
So,
we don't know, but the theory, it makes sense because what he's saying is when you introduce it in the womb,
her blood sugar is
activate.
Great. She has a bad diet, but her blood sugar's fine.
Okay.
So if her blood sugar's fine, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not going to. She's like
just make recommendations. I get it. You can't tell.
Behind me.
Oh, really?
She's super she made her dinner. It's a casserole,
and
it has broccoli, rice, cream of chicken or cream of mushroom, and like cornflakes and chicken and cheese, right?
Could have gone without the cornflakes.
And I'm just saying.
Yeah, but yeah,
she made mine with no rice and no cornflakes.
That's good. That's good.
And
that's
I'm
really
like,
good.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah, it's harder when you smoke weed though.
She's
It's easy
behind
for you now because you don't get high that anymore at all.
She's super behind.
If you were to get high, it's harder to maintain that no carb diet.
She made a meatloaf the other day with pork rinds instead of breadcrumbs for me.
Hey, holy shit, that sounds good.
It was without the sauce. It was
medium.
Try a meatloaf without sauce, and you're like, hold on.
A fucking piece of bread.
It's like dog food. No, but it tasted fine.
Essentially, is dog food.
But I did show up an hour late because it was work, but you know how meatloaf goes. If you show up like 10 minutes late, it's starting to congeal into a brick of butter. You know?
Yeah, it gets all greasy.
Yeah, so
hard lard. No, that's good.
Yeah, she's super behind that. She's super behind me, and I think she wants to try it, but she can't take everything out. But
no.
I keep bringing more and more evidence as far as I'm learning.
Yeah, just hand it. Give her the. Well, see what I try to do is I try to give them.
If we're gonna transition straight into life and diet and everything, then we can. And
well, if you got more talking points, let's get back. Let's get back to that. Let's get back to that, and then before we get to the life and diet part that you want to talk about,
we took care of.
I don't know why I keep fucking with this thing,
you just
dude.
Keep moving it.
Jeez.
We talked about Trump's executive orders basically, and that's about it.
Okay.
and then we tangented it out. As we do.
What is the other one?
Secondly, what do you think? What did you think about the Women's March? A day after inauguration. He didn't do a damn thing yet. Was it just saying, like, people are mad? Like, they're behind the stance saying women have rights. You're never going to take them away. And I get that. I believe you.
Yeah.
And I'm for you. I'm with you. But
Of
the
course.
day after inauguration, I think you're kind of making it an anti-Trump rally when they're saying it wasn't. But you're saying it's an anti-Trump rally because
it was an
because
anti-Trump
of,
rally.
You know, a 35-second conversation he had about grabbing pussy.
I mean, I've had plenty
I'll tell
of
you one
conversations
thing. I've had
about.
conversations with women.
I've had
that talk about grabbing dick, and
It's
women are just as sexual as men. I mean, I understand. And then you try to come back and you'll say something like, "Oh, well, he's the president. He has to stand to a higher." He's just a man.
and
A man, and his wife is a trophy wife. What do you think he talks about? And he was a billionaire. What would you be doing? Honestly, if you were a woman billionaire, would you be single?
yeah.
Would you,
Yeah.
would you have a trophy husband that has a fucking
Maybe
washboard abs?
it'd most likely be an athlete.
with the
It would have to be an
fucking-
athlete.
with something rocking downstairs and just don't. Isn't
I'm
sex-
available, ladies.
sex is
If there's
important,
any
right?
millionaire, billionaire
You're
ladies,
available.
I can become available.
Oh, that's
You just got to pay my child support.
Yeah. But my whole point is, I don't want to sound like impartial to everybody.
it's just rational.
I think
That's
everybody
all.
deserves rights and everything else. But like I said earlier, I think people misconstrue what rights and commodities are or privileges are.
Or
Can
even
can
your
we
right to
argue-
protest.
Can we argue that healthcare and things like water or air need to be rights? Yeah, they probably should be. But as it sits, they're not. And
So how come?
I would be behind, and a big argument with the Planned Parenthood and abortions is that a lot of that you don't really pay that much into abortions. But how do we know what our tax dollar, our point? And
We
and
really
it is
don't.
very small. It's 0.00009 cents on the dollar that go to Planned Parenthood or something like that. And how much of those 0.009 cents go to abortion? Who knows? Like you say, none do, but fuck, man, I can't even figure out.
And it's
What
not
I'm
even
giving to my
free.
state. Like, I'm paying 13% state tax, and some of that's going to fucking give water to fucking bait fish in goddamn San Francisco Bay. Like, what the
Those little
fuck?
tiny retard fish
Yeah.
that almost died. Look, man.
Like, goddamn,
evolution.
we have
evolution.
a goddamn drought,
Evolution.
and Jerry Brown's giving our fucking water to bait fish.
Did you? Yeah, I thought about that. And there's a theory that I have that has to do with our reservoirs and sustainability, right? Because we were at 70% the first week of the big Pineapple Express storm that we had. Like, we were above 70%. We haven't been there in fucking over 5 years apparently. And
we
we
had
had
two
this
more big
storm.
storms.
We have another storm coming. I think they were preparing. That's what I think. I think that they were smart. Initially, your reaction is like, what the fuck? You dumped how many 70 million gallons into the ocean? God damn it, man. Right? But we got a gang more rain coming. A gang.
But
A fucking gang. The dog,
So
everything's
you're
going to
saying-
break.
so you're saying the levees were gonna break
Our
and they had to
infrastructure
change it?
will suck a dick, and we all going to die. Buy a boat. You're trying to survive. Promo code GSMH.
The other day, it was raining really bad, and Shelby was like, "Drive safe. Somebody just crashed." And I was like, "I can swim. I'm a Marine. I can swim. I'm good." And she was like, "That's not funny." And I was like, "I'll be all right."
People are
Have you ever
fucking
known if I've
dumb.
gotten a wreck?
You know, people crash in the rain because
That's
they don't know how to
because
drive.
They drive in rivers. Don't drive in a fucking river.
It's obvious.
If the
And you drive
road-
slow.
If the
You
road
drive
is blocked,
slow.
like completely by a stream of water, not just sitting water. I'm talking about a stream.
Yes.
Don't go in it.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with Mother Nature. Find your way around. You'll find a way. Call work. They'll believe you and be like, "Hey man, there's a fucking river here now."
Did you see the 105?
It was
The 105
bad.
was a river.
It was a fucking river.
It was a running river.
And people were still driving in it.
Cars were like up to their door and
Like,
water.
I don't know what happened. I was driving in the river, and then all of a sudden I drowned.
You know how stupid that is? God damn. That's why, like,
was
the
just-
only mainstream truck that they sell is the FJ. The FJ. If you have an FJ, drive through the water. The intake and the exhaust are.
It's a snorkel.
Yeah, you're not gonna. If you have a fucking Civic, you're sucking water into the engine, and also even if it's not getting in through the intake, if your muffler is submerged, there's something called back pressure, and back pressure sucks in stuff. Yeah. Hence the word back pressure. It means after it exhausts, it comes back in. So you're sucking water all the way in through your fucking exhaust system, cracking and breaking, goes straight into your manifold, goes straight into your head. Right there. So intake, stop driving in the fucking water if you've never driven in the rain.
Especially if that shit is...
Stay home.
Especially if that shit is like lowered like a retard. Like all you pretend racers out there.
These fucking lake potholes we got.
Make a lot of noise. God go like 0 to 60 in 17 seconds.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're that's a tangent. Yeah. The Women's March. I
didn't
my
even get
favorite
my point
people
on
in the world are
women. Just like Joe Rogan said. Yeah.
Oh yeah. His
yeah. Just like Joe Rogan said, his favorite people in the world.
My wife and my daughters.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the same thing. Like you believe in their equal rights.
I want what's best for them, and I believe that. Like,
but you're not equal. You can fuck them all.
currently where I'm at in my job, every woman makes more than me, and she has the same job as me.
Yeah,
they've been there longer.
That statement.
Do I disagree that some women's opportunities are hindered? Yes.
Yeah,
I do.
Definitely.
Like because the world is run by a man. Well, like James Brown said, it's a man's world, but it ain't nothing without a woman.
It ain't, and because we do everything in the pursuit of pleasure. There's nothing that we do that isn't in the pursuit of pleasure. Everything we do is to feel good
it's never
and to
going
be comfortable.
To be completely equal.
It
as
won't.
Far as as far as status and financial ability or
that
financial
can be
success,
equal.
That can be equal.
I think
and I think in a lot of ways it really is.
It is equal.
I have some friends that say there's men that have the same job as them and they're making more.
I don't. But have they been there longer?
And then I asked them, is that because of our federal government or is that because your dickhead boss?
Or he's been there longer. He earned there. You got to think. I could have a position where I've been working at this job for let's say 10 years.
Yeah.
And this chick comes in with this degree and all this fancy papers, and she's been there for 1 year, and then she's making 10 grand less than me a year. But I've been there for 10 years.
Experience matters.
Experience does matter. And that people are not taking these
small,
minute fucking things that will paint a better picture for the
wage gap
world.
Goes, they're taking in a huge statistic. Women jobs versus man jobs. Who makes more? Men are making more.
Women don't work fucking badass jobs.
Hours per week.
Bitches ain't welding.
If there's no hours per week,
they are,
but
not
take in salaries.
Not in the majority.
But I mean, I had this debate correlation between job choice and our economy. Is it our fault that teachers, which I agree deserve to be made tons when there's tons of female teachers?
I think teachers need to be equal to fucking doctors, man.
I agree with you. But what I'm saying is teachers make less. That's our economy.
Yeah.
Than bridge builders, and bridge builders are men. It's construction.
Yeah.
Because women don't want to carry 100-pound bags of concrete.
Yeah, because you got to think of the
non-stop.
Okay, so let's put it in perspective.
Or just job correlation.
Job correlation. There you go.
Definitely matters.
It matters because a teacher is
there's tons of women
inner city teachers. They deserve a bigger because they deal with so much.
There's tons of women in very passionate roles.
Yes, very heartfelt.
Teaching,
it's needed
nursing. No, it's absolutely
it's
needed.
Essential.
And should they be paid more? Probably, yes.
Yes.
But it's not a civil rights issue. It's our economy. Whoever's paying, it's not no one's fault that engineers make more than a teacher does. Maybe we should fix that issue. If that's what they're arguing, then yeah, I'm all for that.
Well,
but I think they're just on a broad board. How come we're not making as much? And they're taking this huge, I think the number was hours per week. Women work 32 and men work 46.
The majority of women do not work full time. Yeah.
A lot of that might have to do with maternity leave.
A lot of that isn't even
just taking care of children.
I have my own experience that I know that isn't true. I got my ex-wife. My ex-wife runs the Chick-fil-A in Redlands. She runs that shit, and she makes good fucking money. She would make the same amount as a male in her position. There's no currency difference there because it's a position and it has a guaranteed salary. No matter who the fuck it sits in that position, they're going to, okay, this is how much we've allotted for this job. And now see what people need to realize, teachers don't make much money, but women love children and to teach. They love nursing. There's not a lot of money there. There's not a lot of money in medical, like nursing, like the lower echelons of that because of the healthcare system, because the majority of the people going in there do not have healthcare, and then those people don't get paid.
On like a little side tangent, a lot of these like men that make a ton of money with construction or trades, welding, all this other things that women just don't do. They don't weld. They don't dig ditches. They're not plumbers.
Small percentages
They can charge insurance companies these days whatever the fuck they want because I just renovated my house and it's ridiculous. And if women jumped into that trade, they'd be fucking millionaires just the same as these men. But they don't want to do that.
But the thing is that men have an advantage over women like that. And a lot of times,
I do believe there's an advantage.
Women that do take on those roles that men take, welding, construction, there's women in these fields.
For example, in security, I'm freaking 270, can fucking throw a house around, and you're tasking me with handling a very disobedient
70-pound woman.
Yeah, and very disobedient people that want to rob. You want me there, or do you want a real thin?
Let's take it back.
That's who they're going to hire. I mean,
let's take it back to Joe Rogan. Just like on my other podcast, I talk about Joe Rogan too much, but he did say
good man. I like him.
He's someone to look up to. I absolutely believe that. But he brought up the first female guard to guard the White House door. What happens? Someone breaks in after over 100 years.
Smacked her.
Smacked her. Ha! And what he said is very rational and it makes sense. It was a great
joke. If you guys don't know, look up his Netflix stand-up. I don't know which one it was.
Let's see if I'll put it on. Go ahead.
His Netflix stand-up was... He's a funny comedian. I put my wife on to Joe Rogan. Like she didn't realize that he had done a lot more before Fear Factor and...
I never knew he did news talk until like a couple years ago.
Yeah. But he's also who got me into the whole ketogenic diet thing too. Listening to his podcasts.
It's very informational, and
he has a great podcast. I recommend anybody that's listening now to check out Joe. It's not only like he goes over everything. That's the great part about it. He'll talk one day about MMA, the next day he'll talk about health and lifting, the next day he'll talk about politics, the next day he'll talk about comedy. It's just a good overall podcast to listen to whatever you'd like to hear daily.
Yeah, and I'm copying with this show. I want to copy his way he just has people on that he's interested in.
Well, he's a successful businessman, so
and it's smart because if you have multiple people on with different points of view, you're gonna attract something. You're gonna attract multiple demographics. And running a show, you want more than one demographic.
Absolutely.
Anytime you market anything, you want more than one demographic because demographics die off. They change. And if you run an open-minded platform, that leaves room for infinite possibility, infinite growth, because there's always something, there's always something to talk about. I'm not gonna put that thing on because it's oh wait, I can do it. Never mind.
Put what thing on?
I was gonna put on that bit.
Oh, all right.
That's what I was trying to do right now, but then, as you can see, it's fucking chaos in the studio.
The Women's March is still... I think it was more like an anti-Trump protest. Like, he's saying that the things he said, he's going to take women's rights away, but I don't really know.
Google.
I don't really know what he said.
It picked you up. Man, dude, really? I'm not even...
You don't have to worry about it.
I'm not I'm not... I'll just say fuck that. It's taking too long. I don't think... Like there in my soul, there is a slight fear of martial law. Slight fear. Saw the signs.
About the feds going into Chicago?
Yeah, how quickly he's all
How are you gonna as a rebuke, I'm not disagreeing with you, but as a rebuttal, fix it. What do you do then?
You do what nature does.
You just let them kill themselves off? That's
Darwin.
not happening. It's been this way for a while now. It's been this way for like all of Obama's last term. This isn't new Chicago. This is Chirac. That's why they call it that.
Yeah.
Nobody's changing it, and he didn't. And this is where he's from. And he doesn't give a shit. Obama also, on a side note, I mean, I'm not a huge Obama fan. I used to be.
Yeah.
But he could have ended the DAPL, the Dakota Access Pipeline, like 2 years ago, or a year ago at least. And touche to him, he let that fall right on Trump's fucking lap and fucking crip walked his way out of that.
Yeah. Crip walk. It's because he's black. No, just kidding.
No, but he's smooth, like a smooth criminal, just bounced right out of that one.
Because he's black. Smooth. Another fucking black.
Just, hey, come on. My bad. That's not what I'm talking about. Like, hold on. Let me pick another better analogy. Like a motherfucker. No.
like when Obama grabbed Melania's ass. I bet this booty could twerk.
He want a piece of that.
I mean, who? I mean, if it was offered,
why not? It probably was.
I mean,
it was like, listen,
see you later.
Listen, I can make things happen. She got huge titties.
All right.
They're big old fake titties. What are you talking about?
They're not big.
They're big old fake.
They're like a
titties.
C cup.
Man, they're like D fake titties. But
when did you see them?
There's a fucking picture floating around all over the place a couple years ago.
I know. I just seen
when
on
they took a picture.
when
it said like first lady's nipple or something.
When she posed nude.
First lady's nipple. She was wearing a see-through something and no bra in it.
All right, let me see. Let's see.
Regardless,
do you think they took
that's the first lady's nipple that you
do you think
saw? That's for damn sure.
Do you think they took her nudes down off the internet now that he's president?
Oh hell yeah!
Let's see. Oh, where's let's go to Google because I'm on YouTube. This is why I need a young Jamie. Melania Trump nude. I'm gonna see the president's wife naked. Isn't this first time ever in history that you've ever been able to see a president's wife naked?
Maybe
ever?
Jackie O.
I don't even know who that is.
Jackie Onassis.
Don't know who that is. Is there a president with the last name Nassis?
Fucking high.
No.
Jackie Onassis Kennedy.
Oh, here we go.
Nope, they didn't take him down.
Yeah, see, they're not that big.
Oh,
they're like
big old.
they're all fake.
Yeah,
that's Photoshop. That's Photoshop.
This is a lot of Photoshop.
No, this is the real from her.
That's probably definitely a photo. That's about a 15-inch dick right there, right next to her.
Oh my god. Oh man, whatever. But yeah, this is the photo I was talking about. This is the photo that they got the scandal over. Yeah. Her tits are like a nice C cup. I'm not saying they're little, but they're a nice size. I'm not saying, but they're not big. They're not big. Well, these right here are big. This isn't even her, but yeah, these are a nice little C cup.
Yeah, there's a lot of Photoshop going on there. That doesn't make sense. You should
look at that. That ain't her.
No.
Photoshop is a bitch.
Photoshop is a motherfucker.
I should Photoshop propaganda. But anyways, why were we looking at Melania Trump's tits?
You wanted to.
I did.
Oh.
We're men. We got testosterone and we like fatty sacks. Yeah. What can I say?
Oh, fatty sacks. I don't know about all that. Let's talk about
sacks of fat?
Yeah, okay.
Fat pouches? Yeah. Or
ass and titties? Fat sacks.
I mean, if you want to be vulgar.
Balls.
You want to suck on my fatty sack? Not even talking about I got a little dick, but my sack is huge.
I don't think anybody's interested I don't know if there's any women out there.
Nah, Ruby wants me to get rid of my ball sack. She complains about it. It's too much, man. It's like in the summer it's too much. It's like warm bubble gum in between my legs.
Getting carried away here.
No, it's
like Ruby wants me to
she told me, she's like, I'm good without the balls. I'm like, me too. Like, hey, like if you think about it, they're really inconvenient, man. It leaves you vulnerable. I'm down to become one of those porn stars that get their balls cut off and it's just a little extra skin right there at the base of the shaft. I'm down for that.
Damn,
I'm down.
I've never heard of that.
You never watch porn?
I don't know.
You never seen that in porn?
I don't know.
You never seen a dude like pounding a girl and they do the bottom ass view of doggy style and there'll be like no ball sack.
I don't know.
It'll just be like this little wrinkle.
I guess I'm not focusing on the ball.
I'm all about the details. Okay.
I guess you are.
I am all
You're
about
all
the details.
That dick.
I'm all about the
Cheers,
balls.
out.
I'm all about balls.
balls,
Okay,
like-
get it right.
My balls are kind of like that.
No, I wish my balls were
Well, if
like
your balls
that.
were gone, there's none of that smack.
Well, I personally don't need
Part
it.
of the ambiance.
Well, when I do that, it's more of my pelvic thrusting into the butt.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, that's where my balls. I like to have sex laying flat on my back. I kill it. Once you put me on top, since my cardiovascular system is shit, I always lose it. My dick goes soft every time. Once I'm on top and I'm required to do actual exercise, I
don't think
my body's
anybody is
like, bro, we can't afford to put blood down there. We need it up here. Go work out, you lazy bitch.
I don't think anybody listening is into you anymore. It's funny. You were like, any millionaire women out there that need me.
Hey, but
I'm single. I can make it happen, but I can't be on top.
I can kill it from the bottom.
But I can kill it.
I can kill it.
Knock the bottom
I can
out.
lay flat and do a quick the thunder fucking pelvic thrust, dog. Just real quick. Just up and down. Just
All right,
all
we're
hip. All hip.
I think we're getting off topic.
Don't use the body.
Definitely off topic.
Anyways, yeah. Let's take a break. We're at 70 minutes. I need to take a break to exercise. All right.
Okay.
And we'll be right back.
What up, everybody? It's Razor,
This is Fear.
And MDI.
and we are Fifth Cast, the premier show of the FYFC Podcast Network.
We like to talk. Hell, we'll talk about anything.
World events and personal stories.
Technology and pop culture.
And once even, pterodactyl porn. Seriously, that's a thing. Google it.
New episodes are available every Friday on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. Also, subscribe to the video podcast on youtube.com/FYFC podcasts.
I'm not sure why you were yelling, but that was excellent.
Now fuck your face and back to the show.
We said normal voice.
I don't know if I like that one.
All right. I always strive for better. Always there's something in me that makes, no matter how good my situation is, in my mind, it's not good. And it's always bothered me, and now I use it. I use that gnawing, ugly thing in the back of my skull that's unhappy as a motivation rather than as one of those things I bitch about and complain about. And now it's up to me and only me to change my position. I don't it's cool in comparison to everyone around me. This situation is great, right? Cheap. I just pay the bills. I got a whole house. It's great. It's not where I want to be. It's not. And another key to success is the end. You've already seen it. You've seen the end result. And as long as you know what the end result is, you can get there, because if you know what the end result is, you can take the proper steps to that end result. If you don't know where you're going, each step you make is going to be a fork in the road that's going to take you somewhere that you don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
So since now I know, I don't want to be here. I want to be somewhere comfortable. I want to live comfortable. I don't want to worry about bills. Bills paid. I don't have to stress. I'm not pinching pennies to make sure that my cell phone is paid. I want to be in a position where bills are paid, house, family, everything's good, and there's cushion money. And on top of that cushion money, there's cushion money. That way, if anything happens, I'm covered. If I want to go somewhere, I'm covered. If I want to buy something, I'm covered. I don't want to be retarded rich. I don't want to be one of those, all about, mansions and cars and jewelry. No, I want a modest house, $200,000 at most, in a decent, country maybe. In the country. I legit really want to live in the country now. I've gone country as fuck lately. I've grown less attracted to people and more to animals. Animals are way better than people. But
So life.
yeah, that's life is crazy, man. And the great thing that I'm taking away from all of this is it's the learning, the constant growth. I find that shit so amazing and so exciting. like constantly. I get excited every time I learn something new, you know, and like I try to share it with everybody.
I was really excited to start school again.
Yeah, see that's cool. I was thinking about that because I'm
I'm
good.
just going to Valley.
I'm a great teacher.
And you can go to Valley for free.
Yeah, but I have to get my student loans
Like 60
60 a class.
bucks
A class.
total. No, for like a full load for a semester, like 60
I
bucks.
thought it was
'Cause you
more.
have to
I
pay
thought it was
for-
like $20 a credit,
No, man.
and each class is like maybe like 3
You'll get
credits.
that shit waived. You can get financial assistance up to like $80,000 a year. Did you
Yeah,
know
but I
that?
can't.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I can't. That's the thing is I can't.
You can't get federal.
No,
They would. Take
I owe
that.
federal.
Yeah, you'd owe federal.
Yeah, I owe federal like 48 or something.
I think forgiveness is around the corner.
Yeah, if on a moral scale, yes, the way.
On a moral scale, everybody should know what the fuck they're getting into.
Yes,
But
and
let's
if-
be real
and if they
about
don't-
18-year-olds without any guidance. They're gonna sign bad fucking contracts with people that are out to fucking rob them of money.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand that. And I've always understood your position, but at the same time, I never did that because I knew.
Yeah.
So that's
So there's
where
that's a
where
paradigm
Yeah,
shift.
that's
That's-
where my
that's-
shift is at.
Yeah.
And that's why I have a different opinion on life
Now,
now.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my friends, I'm unlucky because I
sit,
don't have,
either scoot over. Yeah, sit back or whatever. Yeah, because the more
Thing
up
keeps
it is,
moving
it's gonna
and
keep
shifting.
moving. It needs to be like sort of
I'm
like mine
lucky
is.
because I have zero federal student aid debt.
Yeah, you
I have debt
have
of credit cards. Most people
Well, you
have,
probably
most
do,
people have
but-
debt of credit cards, debt of like house payments, and then debt of student aid, and their whole debt is ridiculous. I don't have none of that student aid.
Yeah.
So I'm literally like $10,000 away from greatness. And that's not a lot as far as debt goes.
Yeah.
That's not a
That-
lot
I
because
would've paid that
I
off
have
so
like
long.
a $12,000 check coming from the VA because they've been so far behind, and when
Yeah.
that comes, I can buy a house. Like it's literally
Man.
right around the. It's like, and I thought this was gonna happen a year ago. I don't know if I. Well, I guess we were in between.
Yeah, we weren't talking a year ago. 2016, we didn't talk.
But in that time, that's when they said, "Hey, you're owed like $6,000." But since then, it's
Hey, you know,
fucking doubled 'cause it was a year later.
in that period of time, they sent me a bill from the Army that I owe them $600.
The Army, because did they pay you on a day you didn't go?
No, they didn't pay me, but they paid my life insurance, my SGLI.
Oh, I see.
So I have to pay back the SGLI. See, the idea of paying into something that you reaped nothing.
From. Yeah.
The fact that you owe a
That's
debt
all
on that.
insurance, yeah.
That's weird, and there needs to be an overhaul in what's that word in
Education.
no in ethics. There needs to be an ethics
Oh,
change. Morals.
Like you said, you can't debate morals, man.
You can't,
Everybody's
but there
different.
should they're just like the Bill of Rights, human rights. There now is a time for a new Bill of Rights. We're different now. We live in a time of instant communication. We live in a time of instant information. We live in a time of rich poverty and poor morals. You know, back in the day, poverty still had morals. Now, since poverty isn't poverty, there's no morals. There's no reason to care. There's no reason to teach. There's no reason to grow because things are being handed to you. And now I see how that is a terrible, terrible thing that sets up a nation for failure.
Yeah.
Is to hand out somebody for something to somebody for nothing.
We did that
And
for
and
about 20
obesity,
years.
obesity is not a fucking disability.
No.
Obesity is not a disability.
That's a good segue into my next step of life is since a Joe Rogan podcast or two, I've really gotten into the ketogenic diet, and it's right now I'm on like, I guess it would be almost week 3.
Oh, really?
So
How are you feeling?
Definitely. What strikes me as weird is that they, other people that said they've been on this diet would say that they don't feel the midday crash because they're burning fat, or they wouldn't. They'd have more energy and they'd sleep great. One thing, I do sleep great. Amazing.
That is very true.
The best sleep I've ever had.
When I was full keto, I was waking up at 5 every morning, knocking out by 10 every night.
I'm going to bed just a little bit different, 10 and then to like 5. And I used to wake up all the time, if I had to use the restroom,
It was
that's
instant
just
wake
gonna
up, yeah.
But if I didn't have to use the restroom, I would still have to wake up and stretch my back or something else.
You feel tight.
Like something.
Yeah, you'd feel
then
tight.
Since I've done the ketogenic diet, I guess I would attribute it to, hey, my joints are feeling great and my back's feeling great, but I honestly think maybe it's the way I've changed, just ingesting sugar.
Yeah.
And I don't ingest sugar, so I don't have that severe fucking lag
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of the day, and then I just sleep better through the night.
Yeah.
I do want to take naps still. Like sometimes I get tired, but maybe I'm thinking since I was a big dude to begin with, and I have a lot of muscle mass.
It requires
for my
more
size,
energy.
There would be more glycogen in my muscles that still needs to be pulled out. For my ketogenesis, I don't know.
No, maybe not. Maybe.
Like I didn't hit ketosis when
Yeah.
everybody should.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The thing of naps aren't bad. Okay,
And
because you got to remember what
ketosis real quick, so nobody understands. Ketogenic diet, a keto diet it's just the same thing as Atkins. Basically, it's like but keto is like no carbs and just fats.
Well,
and
there's three stages to keto.
right? And fats
Yeah.
and protein.
Fats,
but
protein,
you're ingesting like
fiber.
70 to 80% of your calories a day through fat and nothing else.
Yes.
Because once your body runs out of sugar, it's going to start burning fat. And these are diets that doctors prescribe to people with cancer issues, to people with diabetes, like severe diabetes. And I put my dad on it, which really bothered me because I did my research because I love my father and I never put him in a diet that would hinder him. So I did my research into diabetes with the ketogenic diet, and everything I read from doctors and everything else are saying, hey, that's a great idea. It's a great idea. And he goes to his doctor today
And said no.
and then she said, no, you still need sugars. Then I'm thinking, well, what is she going to give you now? She's going to give you more metformin. She's going to give you more glipizide,
Yep.
and it's going to cost you $20 more downstairs. And then I'm
And
like,
your dad prefers listening to the doctor
but
because
I
she has a
don't blame him
PhD.
because he's just an old-fashioned dude. You met my dad.
Yeah.
He's a great dude, but he's just old-fashioned.
Uh-huh.
And he's going to believe his doctor because that's how he was raised.
Man.
But nowadays, maybe back then, you could believe your doctor. But today, it's
can't.
all about fucking big farm. And they
Yeah.
want to control everything. That's the biggest reason why weed isn't even allowed to be sold for pain narcotics, because they rather dose us up with opiates and say that's okay at your workplace or wherever else, as long as you got
And-
this tag.
And
But if you smoke a joint or whatever,
You're going to
or
jail.
fucking want to be on a ketogenic diet, hey, you're probably gonna die.
first of all, it's called a medical practice, not a medical profession. You feel me? It's practice. The reason why they call it practice because knowledge of health and health specifically to the doctor. Doctors,
finite.
it is.
Definitely.
Doctors
Don't know
do are not required in the United States to study nutrition to get a doctor, to become a doctor. They do not need to know a goddamn thing about nutrition. That is a fact. That is a fact. I told my daughter, when I was on that little program, when I was getting that TRT, before I didn't get it anymore, that fucked me up. Getting off TRT without tapering off,
Yeah.
fucked me up emotionally. It was really hard to get through it. And that shit pisses me off.
Dude, I had severe headaches at work, and I was like, "Am I hungover?" But I was like, I haven't drank in like
What the fuck?
a month, and I had severe headaches from stopping sugar.
Yeah.
It was literal.
legit
it was
addiction,
literal
man.
Withdrawals.
It's a- yes.
Like from everything I've read, your brain wants sugar because it wants to fire. It
Yep.
wants to fire now, and it does. And you're absolutely right. Sugar, you take it and you fire now. Your brain wants it because it knows it's that fucking nitro fuel.
Right now.
It's that nitro gas. But
If you ain't
your
doing
brain
nothing,
can steal function off of the fat that it used to be stealing. the energy
it
it
functions
used to be
better.
stealing. Yeah.
It functions better and operates at its optimum when it's running off of fats. Why do you think baby food is laced with fatty acids?
Milk.
Fatty acids, the
Breast
milk,
milk.
DHA,
Gotta be like
EPA,
a gram of
these
fat per
things,
gram.
those things are fatty acids. The reason why fat is so important for hormonal development, basic brain function, is because it's one of the only substances in our body that can easily pass through the blood-brain barrier and deliver nutrients.
Absolutely.
Without that, why do you think people, fish oil, fish oil, fish oil, fish oil, fish oil,
all fat.
fish oil, fish oil? People don't know. People, like, you hear oil, you don't think fat.
Oil's fat.
Oil is fat. Fat is oil. It's just a different fucking temperature.
And my food tastes great.
And
it's
you
the
feel
best tasting diet.
once you get into ketosis, you can conquer. Like I felt so responsible.
That's what
I
was
could
gonna
do
say.
fucking anything.
When I was finally, I knew that the headaches were over, and I was in ketosis or ketogenesis. I knew because when I get a burst of energy, it was like fucking
Quick, huh?
pre-workout.
Yeah.
bulk
You had
ups.
to fucking
It
do
was like-
something.
it was like real energy, and I hadn't done I know if we got any lifting fans, you've taken pre-workout, and you know that jolt it gives you, or just a regular
the
for
fucking
average person.
fire ants crawling on your face.
A Red Bull, just
Or those
take a
light
Red Bull
weights
and
that take a 5-hour energy and feel like the heart's gonna explode.
Yeah, whatever.
I take 2 5-hour energies and be like,
But
this
what
shit
I'm
ain't
saying
working.
Is I wasn't taking any of
Hold
those
on.
things.
What is this?
Told you I was gonna come up here and get some.
Oh shit! The old lady and the kid with his
Dude.
My son has a Spider-Man poncho. What's up, Papa?
Hi.
Oh, I gotta get the 5s and the nuts from my
Wait,
kid.
you gotta wait.
Herp.
Yes, I'm trying to-
You gotta come through the side, fool. It's a poncho. Look at me when you high five me, young man.
He's looking over
Hey,
there.
high
Hey,
five,
Daddy.
high five,
Jude,
Hey,
you gotta-
fool.
You gotta meet a little friend,
Jude.
Reagan.
Jude, what the
You guys
fuck,
can be
man?
Friends.
Hey,
He's a little bully. I'm
dude,
scared for him to meet her.
quit looking at the. Oh, here, let me do this so you stop
Reagan's
looking at the
pretty
TV.
tough.
Yeah, is she?
She like bounds off of things, and she's good. Like she used to cry, but now she's like ah.
Yeah.
And she stands up, and her knuckles are all scarred. Not scarred, but
Well-
they all have scabs because she literally falls all the time. She's tough.
He's gonna have.
He's tall.
He's a big fucking kid, man.
He's
Watch,
tall.
put him down.
He's waiting for Knuckles.
Put him down.
I've seen him. He's tall.
Oh yeah, he saw him when he came in.
You're not wearing your poncho right, bro.
Jackie.
You hear him say, Jax?
Hey, Jax.
It's so funny, man.
Oh,
All of
you
my-
got the tail in the eye.
All
You
of
get
my
a boozy
animals.
tail in the eye now. It might make you
Ooh,
go
go
He has,
blind.
a, he has a scratch right here because your Aunt Jeannie was babysitting him, and she has a puppy.
That was today?
Yep.
I don't even know what the fuck's going on with my own family.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
completely
shit
forgot. Yeah,
Shit happens.
they had to go to the dentist, and they couldn't take him,
What?
so she
Oh,
was babysitting
Kenny.
him.
That's not sushi. That's what he said, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's Cleo.
He's not allowed up here, so when he's up here, he's amazed by everything.
Yeah,
You know, like that thing.
course.
His son's dad.
You
Like,
could see a lot of white boy in him. I was gonna
That's
say.
what my
He's more
my dad says,
Mexican than
freaking
white.
White boy, you little
Yeah.
white boy.
that's
He
not
is.
fair. He's one. He's
Widow,
one
it's
quarter.
Okay, Widow.
Put your poncho
Oh
back
shit!
on.
He did get fucked up, huh?
Yeah, he got
Let me see.
scratched up.
Let me see. Jeez.
Oh
Puppy-
dang! I would have
puppy-
whooped that dog's ass. Did you
Puppies
pump him?
have, especially if they're the
Yeah.
little.
Was the puppy
breed,
playing? And
I guess I don't know. I asked them, I was like, did he cry? Was he okay? And they're like, I don't know. We didn't ask him. Like, okay.
we didn't ask.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah,
We didn't
okay.
ask the guy that can't talk. We
Right.
just-
No, they didn't
No,
ask
no, no, no.
Jeannie. They
Say hi.
asked her.
Oh,
So
I
it's
thought
like-
you said
Talk.
we didn't ask
Say
him.
hi.
I mean, I guess that works. I asked
Say
Reagan
hi.
what's wrong, and she doesn't tell me anything.
Yeah?
He's pretty tough.
say hi to the world?
So she scratches him, and he just
Jax
says,
is over here.
"Owie, owie."
I should bring him. We should let him
Jax.
play one day. Have a play date.
Yeah. Hopefully
Yeah.
he's not too rough because he's pretty rough. He's pretty
I
rough.
have both my kids this weekend. All right, you guys. I need to finish the show.
Let them do
We're
the
still live. I'm not gonna edit this out. We'll leave it in.
Sorry, guys.
Family time.
We're back. I mean, well,
No, you won't.
Yeah, later. Kidding. Have fun.
We
Okay.
were on
What were we
ketogenic
saying?
diet.
Ketogenic diet.
And I was saying, I don't know if I'm
How did this make you
exactly where I want to be. As far as like, am I where I'm supposed to be as far as the ketogenesis goes? But
It's a
I know I've
long
lost
process.
like 12 pounds
Yes.
in like fucking
feel? 3 weeks?
week and a half or something.
I lost 19 in 4 months.
My first week, I lost 10 pounds. No, I went from 87 to 77 or 75.
When I
was
did
like,
it,
geez.
it took me when I first
No,
weighed
85
myself.
to 77. So it was like 9 pounds.
When I first weighed myself, I was so goddamn shocked because I did it not even thinking about my weight. I didn't go to the gym. I just did it. You know, I woke up, went to work, didn't eat till like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I wouldn't eat all day. I didn't want to eat. I like what I do now. I just listen to my body. Like my stomach starts fucking doing weird things. I'm like, all right, yeah, well, I'm hungry. I should eat. And if I'm not hungry, hey, you want to eat? Nah, I'm good. You know, that's the way I do it now. But during that time, I would go fucking from midnight because I would stay up and work and then knock out. I'd fucking eat my dick off at night, dude. I ate so much food. Ruby, since she's been back since September, right? And I'm still maintaining this. I'm still maintaining 190, 195. I haven't broke 200 again, and I've been teetering on the keto diet. But I forgot what I was saying. That is terrible.
Yeah.
What did I say before I was teetering on the diet? Ruby. Son of a bitch, man.
You were going that route.
There was a point. God damn it. I hate when that happens. Anyways, carry on. Go ahead. The listeners can chime. Listeners, tell me where I was at next time. Okay. No, but the keto diet, man. I remember now. It's weird because we've been conditioned to believe we need to eat 3 meals a day. We have to eat breakfast before the day starts. We've been conditioned to believe this. We've been conditioned to believe that bread is the base of our food pyramid.
Right.
We've grown up knowing that bread.
Grains.
Yes. And grain, like if you think about it, dude, it's a seasonal. It's a seasonal thing.
When I sat there and they hit me with stats on like simple things like how many pounds of sugar does the average human that's like not even like a sweets fan or even past that a diabetic, just a regular dude that has the occasional sweets and a soda every other day, and they said that was 163 pounds a year per person.
Yeah, and then
so a diabetic has to
Gary,
be up near like 200 pounds a year. Which is ridiculous.
Gary Taubes mentioned that there was right before the Industrial Revolution, the common consumption per capita per year was 5 pounds of sugar.
Yeah,
that's everybody.
Because they didn't have all.
That's a Coke a week.
Yeah,
a Coke every 6 weeks or something like that per person. I don't see that as that terrible. Like I probably drink a Coke every couple of weeks.
But then when some things were super hard to
I
give up.
still
The
eat
number one
potatoes.
was potatoes.
I still eat it.
But
it's a good energy source at the gym, man.
But it's a carb. But I thought
starch turns into carb if not used properly.
Right.
Yeah.
No, the same thing. Carb will turn into fat if it's not used properly. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
But the
process.
Yes.
Haven't you? I saw it right when I said process. You're like, you son of a bitch. I forgot what I was saying.
No, the God damn, you fucking dick.
You're talking about starch and potatoes. Go.
Yes.
Starch potatoes. You gave potatoes.
When you get a potato
and it's hot, and then you give it to your friend and he's hot.
Listen.
Okay, sorry.
I was really sad about giving up potatoes, but when I took it down to its core, I was like, okay, what's a potato? What do I like about it? And I cooked a potato, and I took it straight out of the water and I ate it. That's it. Boiled and then ate. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this tastes like shit.
You like all the salt and the fat and the grease.
So
yes.
I just put that in fucking cauliflower. And it's the same fucking thing.
You're frying cauliflower. Hey, that's a good idea.
Not frying cauliflower, not French fries, but I mean, boil cauliflower down, mash it up, put some cream, some bacon, some fucking cheese, and some chives. It's a baked potato, brother. I promise you.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's the vegan. That's a vegan method.
I promise you it's the same.
Even though vegans can still eat potatoes.
I've gotten pretty clever. Like I told you,
yeah.
I made a meatloaf instead of with the breadcrumbs.
You have the gift.
You
have the gift of imagination.
I used pork rinds.
Yeah, you have the gift of imagination. A lot of people don't have that. When it comes to eating and food, the greatest chefs are great because they put the food together in their mind and then they can taste it. That's why I compare when I cook and I cook something nice and I've never made it before and I just threw some shit in and I did it the way, and every time I put something in my mind, I'm creating the flavor and I'm like, all right, just maybe a little more of that. And
Yeah, but that's what a good chef is.
yeah, but it requires, don't take away from the gift, man. Not everybody has that. Have you ever ate food with somebody that can't cook and you're like, how are you this terrible? Have you ever eaten food?
I have, yeah.
And you're just like,
But
how?
maybe that's taking it to the next level. Maybe it's not so much a gift, but your taste
muscle?
bud receptors. What if theirs are just bad? What if their brain doesn't deliver on that same level? You know,
Yeah, that's true.
crazy. Just maybe your taste buds are just.
Because
They say
taste buds are.
catfish. They say a catfish has 27,000 taste buds. We're sitting with like 2 something. Maybe we think what tastes good is shit, and the bottom of a fucking lake is where it's at.
Right?
But we don't know.
That's
you know,
funny.
they say
That's the same thing with
on the
color.
next level with color, there's a mantis shrimp that sees in like 2 billion different
Oh
pixels,
my god.
and we see in like 32 colors or
Yeah.
something. And imagine that would be like different dimensions, but they are also have attributing that, plus they have, it's like, I forget what it's called, like a bullet shrimp or a mantis shrimp, and it could punch. Because it has a
You're
hard
talking.
claw.
It's the bullet shrimp. Yeah. It doesn't punch. What it does
The
is
mantis shrimp.
yeah, the mantis shrimp. What it does is it has one giant
Yes.
claw, and what it does is it compresses because they're super tiny, right?
Yeah.
They're microscopic. So when they're
No.
they're probably as big. Like mantis shrimp don't get that big.
No,
I listened to the
they're really big.
I listened to the
They're like
Radio
7
Lab.
inches big.
Are they really? All right. Well, maybe I'm fucking wrong.
This whole segment is fucked.
Yeah. Well,
Nobody's gonna
this
believe,
part
Nobody's gonna believe either one of us now.
this part is true because I listened to it on Radio Lab. What happens is they clench down really tight on their claw, and as it's airtight. So what they're doing is they're super compressing a super small amount of water and causing the oxygen and the hydrogen to have micro explosions. And they said that the temperature is very high. I'm not going to quote any fucking temperature because it's going to sound stupid. So go listen to that Radio Lab episode. I don't know what it's called. Google fucking shrimp in the ocean Radio Lab podcast. It'll come up.
So my point
yeah.
was that they have these dimensional eyes.
Yeah.
And a punch that punches at like 130 miles per hour.
A mini nuke, a super micro nuke is what
Right.
they compared it to, or something
And
stupid.
These are shrimp.
Yes. Yeah, man.
Shrimp.
Yeah, bro.
Big shrimp.
Just shrimp.
We eat those.
Just
They
they're
see
technically
they
insects,
see in
right?
different dimensions.
Did you know-
And they punch holes in walls, and they're shrimp.
Using my power of deduction, right? The God-given gift given to me by God, Muhammad himself. I don't even know who Muhammad is, but
I think he runs the liquor store.
nah, his name's Saif. Okay.
My bad.
It happened again. It happened again.
You can't give this guy nothing.
You
A little bit of scotch down the drain.
You got to keep me in the lane, man. You got to keep me in my
I'm
lane.
pretty good about that, but I've had some scotch
Yeah,
myself.
yeah.
And we're a little off now. We've had a little bit of scotch.
Oh, I remember. People who are allergic to shellfish are also allergic to roaches and crickets. So, shrimp, crabs, lobsters, insects of the water. We're eating roaches and fucking... We're eating insects of the water.
I mean, that's a reach, but I see what you're saying. But
I mean, genetically, if you're allergic to a cricket, you break out, you can
I don't
die,
know.
and you eat a crab. You,
he just sat there and started laughing too because he doesn't fucking know. He doesn't fucking know.
But basically,
How did we
okay,
get into
I know,
mantis shrimp?
I know.
God damn it!
The reason why we're talking about mantis shrimp, we're talking about fucking fish that see different dimensions, and we're talking about people that are allergic to roaches that are also allergic to crabs. We're talking about we don't know shit. And to say and to be so set in stone on what the way things should be, like there's a pyramid the way all of America needs to eat. No, because people come from different environments.
Right.
You probably come from a Viking background. That's why you're so big. That's why you're an endomorph. That's why you can kill meat. You could probably never be a fucking a vegan.
Never.
It'd probably be devastating to you.
Besides our canines and every human that exists, but
Well, no. There are some places like in the Amazon and certain places that
canines?
no, they're smaller, but they developed their culture developed in a way where meat was eaten in celebratory fashion only. The majority of the time, they were eating insects and they were eating berries and nuts and shit. And then when they did the hunt, they all celebrated. They didn't hunt every day. They didn't have meat breakfast, lunch, and dinner like Vikings did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So culturally, their bodies evolved to
Differently.
So that's something people need to also think about. Is that like Clicks is a vegan, but he's Hispanic in nature, so it's possible that in his genetic strand, it's easier for him to be a vegan than say you, because you come from a big giant white fucking background, and historically those people
German
conquered and
Mexican,
savage
actually.
and
German and Mexican. But if we went back to German and Mexican, Mexican's going to jump back to Spanish, which is European, and I'm going to be European. You know, at the end of the day.
True.
At the end of the
Depending, that's
The
taken
only other
into
ones
account.
you can be
Possible.
like, you can be European, African, Asian continent, like, and what's the Native American? Just like, there's like 4 things you can fucking
Polynesian.
There's like just 4 things that you can actually be that they trace back to.
Yeah. Oh, that's something I'm doing. Like next week, I'm gonna
Like African, Asian, European, and then Native.
I'm
North
gonna
American stuff.
take $100 out of my savings because I have a savings now. I'm taking $100 out and I'm gonna test my DNA, and I'm gonna
See where
see
you're at?
I'm gonna see where I'm at. And I'm gonna see if I'm related to anybody. I'm gonna try to find my dad because now that I'm older, I see that not knowing who my dad is was a big issue for me.
Yeah.
And I never recognized it.
Dude, I'm on the same boat, but mine was the other side.
Yours was your mom, yeah.
It changes things.
It does.
Makes you, like, I think
it's a paradigm shift. It helps you
are
see the
more-
world.
You grew up with the mom,
Really? I mean, I had a mom. Yes.
but I mean,
Yes, I had a
I'm
mom.
not going to take away.
I had
whatever.
I
it
had
is.
the mother's company.
You
Yes.
had a mother, no father.
Yes.
I had a father, no mother, and in that aspect, our personalities,
Our
are
dynamics
super
blend.
different.
But
they
they-
do, but like yours is more.
Yin and yang, bro.
You are like
Yin and yang.
your emotions are on your shoulder,
Mhm.
and you let more go out, more like, I guess, a feminine nature would, more caring, more compassion, more.
Yes, more empathetic.
And then I was raised by a man, never cry, no emotion.
Mm-hmm.
I have a ton of it though,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But it's just more blockaded, and that's. And when you like that, I guess the point we're making is that you
It's a-
raise kids without this, and that's how they grow up.
Yes.
That's the whole point.
The matriarch
Because this
and the
is who I am
patriarch
today,
are
because-
crucial.
And that's why I say, once you have a kid, it's everything. You change your
Yes.
life and you make your relationship work, because even if it doesn't, you no longer
It's
matter.
not
You
about
gave up.
you.
This is how not humans, but every existence of life, it tries to make itself live forever. For Jesus Christ, it tries to make itself live forever. You fucking sketch. And then, so there's some
Forever?
species that literally rebirth themselves, and then like us, we reproduce, which is the closest thing we can do to cloning, because we want to live forever.
Well, it's
Life wants to live. Like, whether we think so or not, our brain
Yes.
is saying, I'm going on, Jack. So
Yeah,
I'm going to
'cause
put myself
that's evidence.
in something else. So
Just
your
me
brain
being
is
here.
definitely going into Reagan, my daughter,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and Charlie, and that's still my brain is living for life.
Yeah.
Forever. It's forever. And
that's
never, never.
it's our legacy, and I
Unless you
see
were
it the same
extinct.
way. I see it the same way because I do the same thing with my kids. I'm constantly like, one good thing that I passed on to my daughter, and her mom recently admitted to me, is that she gets excited about learning new shit. And just like me, every time she learns something new, she wants to run and tell somebody about it. And I told Hazel, I was like, that's amazing. Never lose that, because it took me forever to find that. And your excitement about learning might bother others. It might inconvenience them and see you as they might see you as a goofball or someone not to take seriously because they get excited about trivial things. But when you get my age, when you get late 20s, early 30s, you're going to start seeing that that's a gigantic benefit to be happy about learning new shit, because you're going to surround yourself with amazing people, with amazing minds, and you're going to be able to create amazing things. And I did not have that speech when I was a kid. I was not told that when I was a little boy. Nobody told me. Nobody told me that being who I am could be cool. And because I'm very outgoing, I'm obnoxious, and I talk too much. I talk a lot, and up until recently, after I finished this recent book, I used to talk in the autobiographical, where every conversation had to revolve around a story that was involved with me. It had to revolve around me, and I can see now why that pushed people away. Because unless somebody told me growing up, like, yeah, that's cool, but when you talk to people, you need to listen and you need to care about what they're saying, and
Right.
and it's not all about you, because you learn more by listening rather than talking. And that's something that I'm working on now. That's hard. It's hard. Every time I open my mouth, I want to talk about myself. I want to talk about this new thing that I learned. I want to talk about all these things. Point is
No, that's great, man. You've grown up a lot.
it's hard, man.
And that's a positive, super honest compliment.
Thank you.
100%. Like, it's not like, think about how many people don't have their shit together, and you are right above those people.
Yeah. I think about that. I think about that sometimes, but like,
Getting
like I said,
self-aligned is fucking hard.
and
it
I
really is.
and see,
I know
that's where I want to
experience.
a part of being a successful person is some type of service to others selflessly. You got to do something. That's why a lot of rich people always do charity. For me, that comes straight from my heart. That's instinctual. Even if I'm not making money on it, is I want to spread knowledge, because I understand that knowledge is a fucking exceptional tool that will skyrocket you out of any situation, no matter what. As long as you have, like, I dabble in knowledge in everything. I have a little bit of knowledge about everything. There's not really much that I don't know something about. But if I would have learned, if I would have learned at a young age that if you're gonna learn something, learn all of it. Be a master at it. Don't dabble.
Right.
You waste your time dabbling.
We have. Just think,
I know
you and me both, if we would have just picked the one path that we wanted and just stayed true,
Yeah.
we would be.
That's what I'm getting to.
Sometimes I think
People need
very intelligent people need to branch, and they need to learn. They need to get more ideas, because
Yes.
there are those that are just amazing in that one aspect of life, like freaking our greatest inventors ever, and even creators of Facebook and stuff like this. But then, because they put so much time into that one thing, they're like terrible with people.
Yes.
They're terrible socially, and their feelings are hidden. And yeah.
The 7th habit of highly successful people is sharpen your saw. Sharpen your saw means quality time on you and your family. That's it. That means even if sharpening your saw meant going camping for a week by yourself, that's sharpening your saw. It's a reset for your brain
You're saying soul?
for your soul. Yeah.
Okay.
Saw. No. Sharpen your saw.
Oh, sharpen your saw.
Yes. Okay. So
Before
the
your
story
soul.
goes.
Yeah,
The story in this book goes.
Because I didn't know if you were saying sharpen your
Yeah.
soul.
Yeah. No. Okay. But to give the idea of sharpen your saw reference, there's a story of this man that was watching this guy cut this tree for hours and hours and hours, and he just did not stop cutting the tree. 5 hours went by. He goes down there. Boy, you've been really working hard. He's like, yeah, I'm the only one down here. I got to get this job done quick. I can't stop. I got to keep going. And he goes, well, maybe why don't you take some time to sharpen your saw? Maybe it'll cut through that tree better. And he goes, I can't. I don't have enough time. I need to get through this right now. So the idea is if we take the time to sharpen our saw, our jobs in life will be easier.
Faster.
It'll be faster and
Eventually
easier.
faster, because you're
It'll
taking
make our
forever
life more
to chop a tree
efficient.
with the dull.
Exactly. So we have to take the time to sharpen our saw.
And I'm trying.
We got 60
think
seconds.
do
We
it.
got 60 seconds. Apparently, I used up all my disk space. So let's call it a night. Apparently, sorry.
Sure, all right.
God damn. My
it is.
bad. That's what happens when you're poor. Thank you guys for tuning in to God Shape Mommy Hole Podcast. Subscribe, rate 5 stars on iTunes. Follow me on all social media
Let us know
at
what you guys want us to
GSMH.
talk about.
Leave me some feedback, comments, review. I'm just going to keep talking until this thing runs out.
We'll talk about anything.
Yeah.
Sports.
Sports.
Politics is always
Cowboys.